Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Catching up with Peter Negroponte.
So let me ask you on the last one in your previous albums, what goes into your thinking when you're sequencing how the songs are going to be on it?
That's a really good question. Um, a lot of thought goes into that. I think I usually kind of make the executive decision on it, but we usually kind of come to some sort of agreement. I don't know, it's just like some songs feel, in the end, there's only a couple songs that are going to open the record,
Right.
and there's kind of only a couple ones that are going to close. And then, you take into consideration that it is going to be on vinyl, which like doesn't. I love records. I love the industry, that part of it. Also, but it's also like it's such a small part. Everyone's streaming shit, but it's fun even to think about. It's like one song closes the A side, one song opens the B side. There's that kind of form to the record, but
I, I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
I feel like the best albums, the sequencing on it, if you changed any of it, would probably ruin the album the way it was. And I don't know if that's because I've listened to Dark Side 1,000 times, so that's the way the songs belong or something. But
I
it
know it's
just
hard to
seems to
even
me,
imagine.
yeah, it's really important. And I just find it fascinating because you're right. Some songs are going to be the banger, and you want that to open. In the second side, you want another banger to open, probably to keep
Yeah.
people listening. And
Well, the coolest is one of my favorite sequences of all time, which I didn't when I was a kid, I didn't understand it, and I was like, "This is totally weird." But classic "Remain in Light," that album sequencing is madness. Because and it's even cool when you get the vinyl, you realize that because there's 8 songs, right?
mm,
And so you'd think it would be 4 on each side or whatever, but it's not. It's like so the first side of the record is 3 songs, and it's Born Under Punches and Cross-Eyed and The Great Curve. And it's like
mm,
these 3 raging like dance songs. And they kind of sound very similar. They have a very similar vibe and the tone, and they're kind of minor key dance songs. I remember when I was a kid, when I was, I think I heard that record when I was 13 or 14, and I was like, I loved it, but I was like, this is so strange because, and then you flip the record over to side B, and it opens with Once in a Lifetime, which is arguably like, their biggest pop song or one of them. At the time, it was definitely their biggest song. And then the record descends into madness. It gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and that's so damn cool. Like,
it
I don't
is.
know. So sometimes when I think of album sequences, I think of that because it's so not like it just doesn't really make sense, and then it makes the most sense. Like it
Right,
has to
because
be that way.
the big hit is on the second side, so you
Yeah,
listen through the first side, and then they're going to flip,
yeah,
and then you throw the weird stuff at them after they've sung along to Once in a Lifetime.
yeah. And it gets slower and weirder, and that last track is just that weird ambient. Forgetting the name.
Overlord over something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then anyway, so track sequence is super crazy, and it's fun to think outside the box sometimes with that stuff. But yeah, you're totally right. Like I can't imagine like rearranging like a Beatles record. I mean, it would make no sense. It's totally yeah. That's
Even
the
like
way it is.
White Album that is so scatterbrained and all over the place. I don't think you could really change the way it worked.
No, it's got to be that way. I mean, it's like rearranging, like a movie or something. You
Right.
can't do that.
And sequencing, I guess, for a double album is even crazier because then you have a four side, or even worse, the Clash with Sandinista. I mean,
Oh
not
my
that
god,
anybody's ever listened to side 6 of Sandinista, but
that's funny. You know what? I love that record, and I very rarely made it that deep. I've definitely gone there to check it out, and there's some weird filler on that record, but the stuff that's good is so good. But anyway, yeah, I know it's like that's a crazy. I listened to a podcast that was it was like I think it was like Chuck D or something or not, he was narrating a podcast about the Clash. It was for Spotify. It was honestly kind of corny and pretty like surface level, but I listened to it anyway because I love the
right.
Clash. And
And love Chuck D.
yeah, exactly. And it was cool, and it wasn't even that many deep cuts or stuff, but they really talked about that record and just how much time they put in. Like obviously it's like
Right.
You know, the
It's
Clash
so
practice
great.
every day, you know, for
Right.
8 hours a day for years. And they just I mean, they're so good. They're like a jazz band or something, you know, it's like the amount of work they put into that stuff. Anyway, love the Clash.
Have you guys ever thought about getting with a DJ or doing dub of some of your stuff or anything like that?
We actually did do a dub thing. It's pretty buried in our, you know, sort of wild discography, but there is a dub remix. You should check it out on Spotify. And it's called right, it's even on vinyl now. It's this guy J Glass Dubs. It was a DFA thing. It was just another thing like that got swept under in all the releases we did. But it's pretty cool. It kind of works. I mean, the guy J Glass Dubs is like he's awesome. Our music definitely sounds sillier than ever when it's dubbed out, but check. I mean, dude, I'll even send you a record. DFA printed it to vinyl, which was a weird move because it's like, anyway, I got boxes of this record. I'll send you one, man. I'll send you a fucking care package, dude.
Very cool. Very
We've
nice.
done some remix stuff, and some of it's actually all really neat. It's just, you know, it's buried, you know, in the algorithm somewhere. You can find it. Yeah,
Right.
I'd like to do more. Yeah.
Jam bands don't tend to be able to be remixed, I don't think, but you guys, you know, it feels right to me. I'm can't wait to hear that. That's fascinating.
I'll send you all that stuff. Yeah.
Are you guys, you got any tour plans coming up? I don't see anything on the tour page on the website.
No, actually. We have an unannounced New York thing, and that's pretty cool. We're opening for some friends that are kind of like blowing up right now. It's not very in the jam realm at all, but we really have nothing booked right now because we're going to focus on making this record.
The record, right?
And honestly, yeah, I mean, we went pretty hard for the last 2 years. It's gonna be nice to relax for a minute before we, you know, it's really kind of like if we get some cool shows or festivals, like yeah, we'll be there in a second. But right now we're just like we're focusing on making a killer
Right.
record.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. Well, so do you have anything else that you're doing besides Gorilla Toss musically, or
I mean, it's kind of Gorilla Toss was what I
is your life?
artistically- That's kind of that's my thing. You know, especially right now since we're trying to get this new music together, and like, I just had COVID, you know, so I haven't left my house in like 10 days, and I don't even get dressed. I go to my computer, I have my little studio, and then it's midnight, and then I go sleep and do it again. It's like it's all I do when I can. It's awesome, you know. That's my favorite process. And other than that, you know, like I work at Bethel Woods. I don't know. I think I talked about that last time.
Yeah.
You've been there for
'Cause-
Phish before.
right, and you've Dead and Company. You played for Dead and Company, right?
Yeah. That's why we did that. So I'm continuing my residency there, which is a sort of an abstract term that describes my job, and things are slow there right now because you know it's like a concert venue and we're closed.
Any
for
good
the
big concerts this summer you were hearing about?
Yeah, I mean the stuff that's been announced is interesting. You know, it's a tough. The location of Bethel Woods, you know, it's the Woodstock site, so it's, you know, it's got that going for it. But it's very close. You know, it's close to the city, so I know there's always sort of radius clause issues with MSG and stuff. And but so far this summer we got Limp Bizkit coming, which is totally ridiculous. And you know, that's very like I was never a huge Limp Bizkit fan, but you know that was pretty popular when I was, you know, in like middle school. Even or
Weren't they the one of the worst offenders at Woodstock '99?
Yeah, they burned the place down, or maybe I watched one of those documentaries. It was insane.
Bringing them back.
We're bringing them back. I'm psyched to just see, you know, like what a concert like that is. It's definitely going to attract a pretty wild crowd, you know, up in rural New York. It should be interesting. And so that's something I'm kind of excited for just because it's such a crazy vibe. And then there's like, we got Alanis Morissette and Joan Jett are coming. That's exciting. I like Joan Jett a lot. Alanis is, you know, legendary. But I'm not, and there's some pop stuff, but so far there's yet to be a lot of things announced. You know, things are coming. But
March probably end of
yeah, I
February.
hope it would be great if Phish came back. I don't know. I think they're doing their festival.
Right. Well, that's
Gray
far
was
enough
here.
away. They're not playing Merriweather because the
No,
festival's an hour and a half away from there. So
yeah. Are you gonna do the festival?
we're planning on getting an
Yeah.
RV and we're going to broadcast live. We're going to try to
Yeah.
broadcast live. We'll see how that goes.
I should go, man. It'd be fun to. I think when it got announced, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, I don't know if I'll make it to the festival. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not super psyched on the festival thing anymore. But now it got announced, and maybe I am psyched on the festival.
Right.
Maybe I do want to go. I mean, what
Where
the
are
fuck?
where are you on them playing the Sphere?
I think the Sphere was another kind of thing where I was like, the Sphere looks, this looks awesome. I don't. I think in my head, like, I don't know what everybody was expecting, and I've sort of only been following like a little bit, but I think I was like, oh, the Sphere looks cool. Like, I can't really plan that far ahead yet, like I'll see what happens. And then it sold out in like a second. And like, I just totally wasn't expecting that. And now I don't think I'm going to the Sphere unless
No,
I don't think that's in the cards.
all the secondary market tickets are going to plummet now that they announced the festival. All the scalpers are getting worked.
Yeah, good. I hope that happens. I mean, I've just, I still like, I plan, I'm bad at planning things. It was kind of thing where it was like in February, if it was like, or I guess that's a month from now or 2 months from now, being like, all right, do I have the funds to go do this? Does it look reasonable? Like, I have a bunch of friends going out and crash with, like, I'm just going to fucking go. But it feels like that's the kind of thing where maybe if the tickets, are you going? What's your deal?
No, I am not that sold on Phish at the Sphere. I'm sure the visuals would be cool. I feel like they're going to have to time everything out. They aren't going to be allowed to just take something an extra 10 minutes because the visuals have to be attached to it and everything.
Yeah, it's kind of my understanding. I've heard from some people that yeah, it's tricky. It's with the visuals. Yeah, I don't know. It might. I don't know for sure, but part of me has a hunch that it might not be the most sort of like fishiness in terms of what they usually do. Like it might be a little more planned. I don't know for sure, but it'll be interesting. I'm also, like part of me is like, I don't know, it's not gonna be that cool. Obviously, it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a totally unique Phish experience that I'm gonna miss because I'm just saying cool.
I feel like I'd rather go see U2 or even like a Beyonce or something there that does a scripted show, the same thing every night, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'll be it would be fun to go to a big pop show there. I mean,
or Madonna or somebody.
I mean,
I don't know why I picked Beyonce. I really know maybe three of her
I like
songs.
Beyonce. I mean, she puts on a hell of a show. I've never seen it, but I've heard that it's like, incredible. Yeah, I mean, I think anything you go see at the Sphere, if you're not like a snob about pop music being corny or something, it's going to be incredible. I mean, it's just peak entertainment. So I don't know. I did Phish Vegas Halloween a couple times. I did the 2014 and 2016. And that was like some of the most fun I ever had in my life. So,
I've been to Vegas once in 21. I went to the Halloween show just that night. I flew in, went to the show and flew out, and I had a rough time in the casino. I do not like casinos. No clocks, they pump in the air. Everything's on a slight curve, so you kind of are walking in a circle and you don't even realize it. And after the show, I was just like, get me out of here. I like found some security guard and I was like, how do I get out of this building? And he's like,
that's funny. Right. I love casinos. I think they're the most insane place ever. I mean, they're like, obviously it's like a bleak ass fucking scene, but what's fun about Phish Vegas, listen, I've been to Vegas more times than I want to admit because we've been on tour and stuff. And then like, the funny thing about Vegas is like I've taken a few vacations and, trips to like Zion National Park and Grand Canyon, you kind of have to fly into Vegas. It's like, it's the most evil kind of superficial place in the world and surrounded by like the most incredible natural sights ever, in my mind. So I've been to Vegas when Phish isn't playing and it's especially like, cringy or whatever. When Phish plays, it's funny because the people fucking take over, it's like Wooks are owning the casinos. and the people that are there on vacation are like, what
Everyone's
the
at the
hell is going on here? Like, so I think it's pretty fun. But yeah, casinos, if you're in the wrong headspace, or even just if you're just a reasonable person,
right.
you're like, what the
Well,
fuck?
they had no AC on that year because they were using fire, right? They had like
Oh, with the
fire
venue.
shoot up from the back of the stage, so they couldn't have the AC running, so it was just hot. And I don't know if you remember, like everybody who walked away from there walked away with COVID. I mean,
I
it
remember
was
hearing
just
about
like
all that.
a
Yeah.
petri dish.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also one of those things where like my friends were like, come on, man, we got to go. We got a room. And I was kind of on the fence. And then last minute, I was like, I don't think I'm making it to Vegas, guys. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was incredible. I streamed all the shows. I stream all the fucking shows. I give them all my money, $30 for a webcast now.
My
Fucking
money,
just
right?
take it. So anyway,
the webcast, if they do that from the Sphere, that should be interesting. Because
I
usually
assume
all the cuts, they do the wide cut and then they go in and close up on the band. But if you're watching a Sphere stream, you just want to see what's going on around them.
I assume they're gonna stream it.
Oh,
and they're
yeah,
gonna
Nugs is not going to miss out. Live Phish is not going to miss out on that money.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the amount that they rake in from that is, I mean,
It's crazy.
it's incredible. I mean, what a crazy scene. But yeah, I'll definitely stream those shows. I always stream Mexico, or
Yeah,
for the most
Mexico.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's next. I wonder.
you-
So, were you at New Year's?
I was at what was I at? I was at night. Okay, this was like 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. I was at night 1 and 2.
I went to
I
the
missed
first
New
night.
Year's. I went to the first 2 nights. That's what I
Yeah.
did. And you were at the first night?
Yeah. Well, we drove up for the first night, and my girl turned around and drove back home. I was like, "You're crazy." She was like, "I got to work in the morning, but we can go for the one night." I was like, "Whatever."
After the
let's
show,
do it."
you guys drove back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big.
Oh, it was ugly. It was ugly. I got abducted by aliens that night. Like, there's a good 20 minutes that I don't even remember.
Oh, fun. All right. Good. Nice. Good. Going hard at MSG. What section were you in?
We were in 104 or 5 behind the stage.
Nice.
I was like right behind Fishman, and
Cool.
yeah, it was crazy. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I went to the first. It was great. I mean, it's always like I've been to a lot of shows, a lot of Phish shows at Madison Square Garden, and quite a few shows at Madison Square Garden in general. It's it is. I mean, it's another kind of Vegas-y place. It's like it's a little bit evil, but if
Right.
not very evil.
Someone said it was the largest indoor space, uninterrupted indoor space in New York.
What does that mean? Uninterrupted indoor space?
Well, like there's no poles in the middle. It's just a
Whoa.
huge. And I was like, that could be true. I couldn't think of things that were,
That is. I mean, yeah, that seems pretty on the nose. The most I can't even say that word.
uninterrupted space.
Uninterrupted space in New York City. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And fun story about Madison Square Garden. I always tell this if we're talking, is the first place I ever smoked weed was Madison Square Garden during Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, 2001 or something. I don't know. I was 13 or 14.
Nice.
And I was like, I went with my buddies and I was like, I'm going to smoke weed tonight, And there was some older ladies smoking weed around me. And I was like, let me hit that. And they gave it to me. And I don't think I got high, but still, it was fun. It's the first place I tried to get high.
Right. It opened the door.
A lot of memories there.
First step on your road to ruin, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, it was all downhill from that Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, like old lady joint.
At 14.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.